leave for my next travel nurse contract in less than 2 weeks, so it is a race against time to get this van finished. Diesel heater was a top priority for us because where we'll be moving to, it will be cold, especially at night. There's a little another Easter egg hint for everybody who's trying to guess where we are moving to. Started putting in the diesel heater about a week ago, and I'm still working on it because I feel like I keep on finding parts that I need to replace. For example, I had to wait for this turret plate for nearly a week, and then whenever I went to screw in all of the hose clamps and everything, I realized it was such a tight squeeze in the turret plate, I could barely even fit my hand in the plate. We wanted to do a quick dry run before we actually put it into the van and made it a permanent fix. As you can see the old holes that I had drilled into the van, so there is quite a big gap between the van and the turret plate. It also sits uncomfortably close to our emergency brake line. Part of doing this van build completely unexperienced with any sort of tools is really difficult, because looking back at this video, I should have used a step bit to create a hole for the wire to go through rather than it being pinched underneath the plate. So I just really hope that the wire never craps out on us or anything, because we are completely fucked if that happens. And then, much to my surprise, we went to go plug in the fuel pump line, and surprise, surprise, it does not connect. Another little meltdown later, David figured out that there was an extra little silicone square within the fuel line electrical pump. He plucked it out with tweezers, and then surprise, surprise, it fit perfectly. This part will be sitting underneath the van, so it's really important that the electrical snaps in as it's supposed to, because it's supposed to protect against water, snow, ice, everything, salt. It was extremely difficult working in such a small space. I felt like my tools were too bulky, then I felt like my hands were too bulky, it couldn't even fit in the plate. Then I tried to do little drill bits, even that was too bulky. Anyways, a little bit of a travel nurse update. I still do not have a contract. However, our lease does indeed end in 14 days. So regardless, we are moving to where we want to go, and we're just going to hope that there's a contract waiting for us. Housing is pretty difficult to find in this state during this time, so I'm kind of thinking that we might have to live out of the van for a week or two until housing opens up. Another motivator to get this done.